Where am I? Hi, welcome to Dogman Teepee Hunting. And if you're listening to this, it'll be on the Interdimensional Voyagers podcast. Thank you for joining. We've got a very cool guest, actually, on from the States. There's a paranormal ghost hunter, and he uses some really unique kind of like equipment. And not just that, he has a different way of thinking when it's approaching um paranormal investigations. There's a different sort of way around uh, uh uh, looking for them, trying to detect them. So I found it really interesting, and I hope you do too. As always, got Natalie on, co-host. Hello, Natalie.
Hello. I like that as always. This is like my second go.
Yeah, well, it's like
I'm starting to
it
think.
feels. Believe me, Natalie, it feels like a lifetime now.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Lull me into full sense of security on Friday. Now it seems
it doesn't take me long. Honestly, it doesn't take me long to bring everything down. Honestly, it really doesn't. But Natalie, right? I got a message right before bringing the guest on. I got a message from Louis, right, a friend of mine who I had on a show for some time ago, and I said I'd play it. It's a bit spooky what he sent, right?
right.
Okay, but here we go. Hopefully, I'll put it. I have to put up to the microphone. This one.
Growing up, my grandma would always babysit us, so my mom could go do what.
Wait. Look, hang on a minute. Oh, come on. What's wrong with it? Look.
In the middle of the night,
Look. Right. Let's go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning. No, stop it.
Growing up.
Oh, would you believe? All right, leave that one. Leave that one. All right. Let me just let me just bring the guest up, and I have to come back to that.
Okay.
Because for the time being, it won't. For some reason, it just won't play. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait.
She had one of them.
No, won't play. All right, no worries. Anyway, Carlos Ortegón, I think his name is. I'm pretty sure he goes by, but I mean, it's like my last name. It's absolutely a nightmare to try and pronounce. But he goes by Lurker, which is really cool. I'm going to ask him why he goes by Lurker, so I'm going to bring him straight on. Hello.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Doing good, guys. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.
Yeah, more than welcome. Yeah, it's great. I'm going to jump into the comments first of all because I haven't got anyone at the moment. I've got Kate. Good evening, Kate, and I've got Dawn, Sasquatch sister, moderating, which is very, very lovely of them. Any questions? People, put it up. I will star them, and I'm going to show them towards the end of the show, and fire them all at Lurker. Let's have a look. Oh, good evening. Hello. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah. Hello. That's a nice one. Kate says heart. That's very nice. Right. And yeah, Dawn says hi, Lurker. Yeah, that's great. Right. Okay. Let's crack on with it.
Go for it.
Right. Okay, so how did you get into this?
By watching paranormal TV shows like Ghost Adventures, Taps. I just always had been a fascination to the unknown of the paranormal. I would see these guys out there like with the, voice recorders, the spirit boxes, or they'll come up with a little unique idea to try to get them to come out, like trigger objects and stuff. Yeah. I was watching that when I was younger. I was like, ooh, what if I do it? What if I want to do it? But then life happened, and then YouTube, started becoming popular, where you see all these influencers like Omar, Gosh TV, Patty from the G Team. I love her. She's cool. You know,
Yeah.
I keep in contact with her from time to time, but she's really cool. But that's what got me into the paranormal. I said, you know what? I see these guys all there. Why don't I just try it? I started my YouTube channel since 2018 with whatever I can afford, a little camera and a little this, and that's it. So I was like doing a few, you know, exploration videos when it comes to paranormal. I was like, let's see what I can get with it. And then it clicked to me because I saw one idea. I was like, I don't think anyone's done this before. Let me try it. Because it was more at the time before I became the dark researcher that I am today. I just did it out of curiosity to see if spirits or ghosts would, if they see something foreign, how would they react? How would they respond to this? So I started like doing like combinations of different types of devices, like a sound meter, the wind meter. You know, again, at the time, I wasn't trying to be like a full researcher. I was just doing it out of curiosity, just to see what would happen. Some of the results didn't work. Others was kind of a surprise. So then I started my journey from there, YouTube, and then I started going into Facebook, you know, and then that's where I really started, you know, cultivating different methodologies, different techniques, combinations. Then I really started, you know, going into the research because I was like, ooh, I'm curious. How would they do it if I did it this way? Or if I combine it with this, with that? And that's how I got into it. TV shows and seeing other YouTubers doing it too.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's cool. Did you, growing up though, did you ever have any experiences growing up?
I wouldn't say as far as like seeing ghosts or spirits or anything, but I always have sensitivity when it comes to energies. Like, it's hard to explain. It's like I can pick up on it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I've experienced.
Okay.
As far as that goes.
Is that kind of like knowing something's there but not necessarily seeing it? That kind of sensitivity, or you know, knowing that you're not on your own.
Sort of, but it's not like a regular empath kind of thing. It's kind of more on a different scale when it comes to me having sensitivity to energies. Like, it's like going a little bit beyond that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you found that it's sort of, were you aware of what it was at the time, or is it only since you've been watching the TV programs that kind of tuned you into it a bit more as to what it actually was that you were picking up on?
Well, I can tell you this, guys, from what I've seen on TV when I was younger to versus what I'm doing from there, from the start to what I was doing till now, it's definitely different. It's not like what you see on TVs when you do it yourself. It's a whole completely different experience.
When you started doing it yourself, sort of investigating on your own, what was was there any rules you gave yourself? Did you like say to yourself, well, I'm not gonna I'm gonna go with someone else, or did you say, look, do you know what, I'm gonna just get out there myself, I'm gonna go to a place that I know is possibly haunted? I mean, is all that I'm suggesting here, is that like kind of what went through your head? You know, did you kind of like do a bit of research and find out what was haunted place or suspectedly haunted?
Yeah, a little bit of everything, basically. So I would go to a place where a lot of people don't know that's haunted in my area. I would go there because San Antonio, Texas is one of those things that is really haunted because it's all Native American land once upon a time. It all belonged to them. So, you know, before any of this land development was even here, because any place can, you know, areas that happen, it can happen within thousands of years, hundreds of years. You don't know what happened or what events will take place. So I go to those certain areas where it could be haunted, you know. So sometimes I get something, sometimes I don't get anything. So it's kind of like a game of chance, you know. Like, you may get something, you may get a little bit, you may get a lot, or you may not get nothing. That's what paranormal
Yeah.
research is all about.
I think someone's getting it at the moment. I can hear a lot of banging going on in the
Yeah, I
background.
know. I can't control that, unfortunately. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's all right. So long as it's not, anything paranormal. Is it paranormal?
No, somebody. I live in a complex where we have maintenance workers.
Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. All right. Right. Did you when you're doing the investigation, what I'm most interested in is the equipment and your approach. Why did you choose? I've seen some of your videos. I'm going to put some of the videos on in a little while.
Yeah.
Your approach to the paranormal and in detecting it. What gave you the idea? What was the genesis moment? Was it like kind of thinking those guys on TV? I could tweak it. I could try something different, or was it a case that you kind of like thought to yourself, well, if they're not responding one way as they do on TV, let's try it another way. Was it that type of thing?
No, it was something I just come up with a thought, an idea. So what makes me unique as a researcher and investigator is if I see something like an everyday object or something I see on TV or something, if I see somewhere like at a supermarket, like Walmart, Target, like a toy aisle, if I see something with a toy, I can think of an idea out of thin air and turn it into something. Just like that.
Bit like a mad genius creator. You'd be
Quite
like just
literally the
sitting there,
mad-
seeing a leaf and go, oh, actually, I've got an idea.
Yeah,
just like random.
Exactly, like the one, for example, where are you guys familiar with Pictionary, where you draw something, people would guess what it is on paper or screen. So I applied that concept, the family game concept, into an investigation setting. When I applied the Pictionary method, which I call it the Ruklu method because, put a little spin on it. But I draw it out and I'm trying to get spirits to, if they see what's on the screen and how would they react when this is presented in front of them. I'm trying to see where their senses are. I'm trying to see where their cognitive is. I'm trying to see where their thought process is. When they see this, how are they going to respond back to me when they see this? Are they going to say what's on the picture or are they going to say something more? That's where my out-of-the-box thinking comes into play right there.
Yeah, because it's the half of the problem, isn't it? Like when with a lot of the devices and that is just how much of it, what exactly they're perceiving and how they interact with it. So like you say, having something actually out in front of you, it's sort of like, is your Pictionary type screen, is it like a electronic screen, or are you using paper and pen?
Yeah, it's just like a tablet. I just draw it on the tablet and then I do it like this and get them to guess it. It's not just I do pictures. I call it the Pictionary method. This is where I say the Ruklu method, which is backwards for lurker, because I use like numbers, letters, words to throw it on the screen for spirits to guess. I've done where I did like split screen. I put like a word or a picture combination, or I would scramble the words around to try to get them to figure it out. The whole reason of this concept is I'm trying to rule out that, we always hear the Necrophonics app and it's a word generator. How is it a word generator if they're giving me responses from what they're seeing on that screen? They're literally trying to figure it out, and I've got clips of that on my TikTok on that. So that's what I was telling you, as far as I'm trying to see where they're at, as far as their sight, their auditorial, whatever senses that these spirits or ghosts possess. That's what makes my idea in thinking unique.
Yeah, that is true, because we don't tend to challenge spirits in that cognitively, do we? We tend to want to interact, but we're not actually saying, other than can you touch the REM pod or can you do this? We're not actually saying how do you understand this thing, or can you do a puzzle? So it's sort of like you say, it's the puzzle idea is quite interesting. It's like, can you work out what this is, or that is interesting. It's an interesting idea. Yeah,
exactly, and it rules out. It basically throws the whole. It's a word maker out of the water. It's not a word maker because they're actually responding to what they're seeing and what they're hearing me say. Hey, what is this on the screen? Can you tell me what it is? And like I said, I made it so challenging. I literally threw scramble words all over the place, and they still figured it out. I even did it so much as twisted the words. Like I made the letters upside down, spelled out, or sideways, and they still figured it out. You see, that's why I do this research. That's why I'm so passionate, because I think they possess more abilities or powers than we think that these spirits have. I think they possess more than the 5 senses that we have in the physical realm. I believe these spirits may have 15 senses, maybe if not 20.
Yeah, because it's like I had a thought and now it's gone. It'll come back.
I get that a lot. Yeah, I get that a lot.
That was the thing I was about to say. It rules out the residual response idea. Because like with the word generators, the thing I used to get when I was doing EVPs is the one that made me think that I'd got an EVP was when I got non-normal words. So it's sort of like you say, the word generators, I sometimes think the words are still very simple. It's like, so if you're using more complicated words and scrambling them and they're still able to sort of figure that out, that means you haven't got residual, and B, it's not just a bog standard hi, bye, hello, come here. It's like, there was one I got on an EVP and it said that I heard a stone dropping and somebody said clumsy. And I was like, that has got to be an EVP because it's such an unusual word to get.
Right.
Whereas if I hear like hello, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
And exactly. And I'm not just saying this.
Yeah, you can play with it a bit more. It's I like that. It's a good idea, that is. It's very interesting.
Thank you so much. I have proof of that too on my TikTok as well. Like the twisted words where they guessed it and still guessed it, or that scrambled word, grape juice. Even though the words are scrambled, it still said it clear as day. You could hear it. And so that tells me it's not a word generator. That tells me they are aware. They are able to see what is in front of them, what is presented to them.
Yeah.
How do you feel about residual hauntings that may occur repeatedly over a set period of time? Hauntings people have witnessed of very commonly grey ladies which appear in a certain place and follow a pattern of movement. They follow a routine every time they're seen. How do you think they differ from the entities you're talking about?
Honestly, I haven't encountered a residual anything, because most of the times when I do an investigation or experiments, I usually get responses like this, and it's not like regular responses, like actual responses to actual things that are, again, presented to them. And I do believe residual hauntings is a thing. It's just I just haven't come across it yet, because most times when I do an investigation or experiments, it's been pretty intellectual most times.
Carlos, do you sometimes wonder, because from hearing you talk about your investigations that you carry out, it's a little bit, I don't know if you think this, Natalie, it's a little bit almost as if you're scrying. It's almost like an Ouija board. It's because you're directly asking out, and you are putting in place options for them, be that pictures, cards, puzzles. You're directly interacting, which is different from somebody going around with a K2 and an EMF and kind of stuff like that. Do you worry that the entities that you're trying to get in touch with and that do interact with you, do you worry that they're not just ghosts?
Not gonna lie to you, yes, I do worry. Yes, I'm aware that there could be other things that are out there too that may not be good or that could potentially hurt or harm. That's why my work is unconventional and unorthodox, because it's not something that is like steady or bound by the norms or rules of conventional ghost hunting. I do this because I'm passionate in it and I want to know, I want to seek the truth. What is there? What is actually there? Are we really diving deep into the paranormal research and investigation? Probably not, but this is why I'm one of those few people that try to push beyond that. I know it's risky. Yes, it could be potentially dangerous, but in the same token, I have to go at this at the forefront, if I want to seek answers. And I know what to do when a situation arises. So I don't suggest everybody should do this because it is dangerous, but that's kind of how I roll.
Yeah, it does put a different level on it when you're actually interacting like that. It's a little bit less passive, isn't it? So when you are getting interactions, they're a little bit more direct. So I suppose that does, I don't know actually whether it's more dangerous. I wouldn't have said it was more dangerous than doing anything else, because you are still asking for interaction, but because you're challenging them intellectually a little bit, the quality of the interaction you get might have more energy in it, because the whatever it is that wants to talk to you probably has a stronger level of consciousness. I have some people pass over and they're just like shades, and then others of them are a lot stronger. The psychic energy is a lot stronger, so when they do pass on, they're more interactive. So so I suppose I can see how like that might ramp up your level of interaction a little bit, because of the way you're trying to interact with them is a lot more back and forth, and it is sort of like, who is there rather than is there anything there, if that makes sense.
Exactly. You're completely right. It's like somebody passing, usually like, you go walking along a road, or you go onto a bus, or you go onto a train, and you see someone and they'll go, all right, mate, and that's where it starts and that's where it ends. But if I was to turn around and go, actually, no, I'm not all right. I've had I'm late for work. I spilt the breakfast down me, and I start going into a bit of a, a thing, then I'm asking for a more drawn out conversation. I'm trying to pull in more from them, and also interact longer with them. Like you said, Natalie, it's not just a case. A lot of ghost hunters out there, they'll go and go, is anyone out there? If you are, can you come close to this box? The lights will light. And so they're asking a question, and they're using their equipment to detect if they're getting close, which is different to actually saying, right, if you can see me now, do I look like a ghost to you? If you're how long have you been here? Why are you here? If you are here, why are you here? You're almost kind of you're talking to it. I always like to talk to entities, if I go on a ghost hunt, as if they're a person. I don't like to talk to them like kind of come closer to this box and let it light up, and then I'll know you're here, because it kind of like puts a boundary on it, right? Okay, but don't come any closer than the box. Once you light the lights, that's enough for me. I don't want to do that. I want to sort of interact. I want to make sure that there is a form of communication. So I get what Lurker's saying. I get what he's saying. It's just I worry also from the same part that it is in a way a form of there's a lot of trickster elements out there. There's a lot of entities out there which they lie, and they say they're one thing when actually they're not. And it's very easy to get drawn into that. So you have to have a certain amount of boundaries, don't you? You have to kind of like say, right, okay, if it starts getting a little bit personal, or the information is a bit too pertaining to me or family, then you sort of like shut us down, and that's kind of Lord's Prayer, whatever you want to use, and boom, that's that's it out of there. But so I think it's the right way of doing it. I do agree with you, Lurk. I think it's the right way of doing it. I think I don't have a lot of. I've been out with K2s, and I've got K2s and stuff myself, but they're not that accurate anyway. They're not that great. I usually use a tri-field meter, which gives me the electrical background, radio frequency, and EMF as well at the same time. But it doesn't have for the camera the same effect as look at the lights going up, because it very rarely triggers, which I don't mind. It's just part of the cause. But K2, yeah, it does interact. It's very, very sensitive, which makes good for viewing. But is it accurate? I don't know. But each to their own, as it were. Let's have a look. Frequency scanners are interesting. Let's have a look here. Andy Penn says frequency scanners are interesting, as if a voice comes through, it is being heard across multiple frequencies due to scanning speed. Yeah, they are. I don't know. What do you think about frequency scanners, SB7s and stuff?
It's possible. I've seen like clear responses, from other people's videos where it's kind of goes to what I was saying. Like, it can't be a word generator at that time, because if they're giving you clear responses, even through a frequency scanner, that's telling you something there, that they're actually there. They're watching, they're listening, these spirits, and they're telling you, they're being direct with you. You're getting communication from a frequency scanner. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Tend to get longer sentences through the frequency scanners as well, I always found. Because a lot of the voice generating, the word generating apps seem to be very limited. Whereas like if you're scanning on an SB7, it's like you very often get longer sentences or more words strung together. And I sometimes find that that's like more satisfying as a response than just like say the hi bye thing. Because I mean, we had one where we were up the stairs and we were on an SB7 and it said get downstairs now, and it's like, that's like an actual, so we were out of there as fast as we could go. But it's like, but that was an actual sentence and we both heard it. And it's a lot clearer than I have messed about with the word generators, but the words don't go together very often. You have to kind of make the connections, and that's what I found a little bit frustrating about those things. But then do you find certain gadgets work better for you than others? It's like I've had no results whatsoever with REM pods and things. Cat balls and EVPs I've always been able to get, but every time I've tried anything like a K2, a REM pod, or anything else like that, it's just blank. Ouija boards as well, they die when I put my fingers on them, so I don't even try. But it's like, have you found that there's certain things that you not necessarily guaranteed response, but are more likely to get a response with, or is that how you developed your methods with them, playing with your word pads and things?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to just go in there and be like, it's like Phil said, like, oh, is there anybody there? What's your name? How did you die? Like, that's too mundane. Let's make it more interesting. It's kind of like what Phil said, like, why are you here? What caused you to be here still? Or like, is there anything that you need to do? Or are you protecting something? Those kind of questions I like to ask. Sometimes I like to switch it up, or like they, talk to them like normal people, as if they're like alive, not dead.
Yeah.
That's why when I do these experiments, I talk to them like they're here with me right now. I built a bond over them, So that's why I'm able to get such quick responses, clear responses. Sometimes it might get cluttered up a little bit, but man, you can hear it. So I get where you guys are coming from with this.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Quick one. Natalie, I'm going to give you one question to ask a ghost. What would the question be?
I have no idea. I'm one of those people, I don't like interacting directly with them. I prefer just to perceive things. So it's like, I don't know what I would ask them, because I don't know whether it's my autistic brain. I don't like talking to thin air because I feel silly. Even if I know there's something there, it's like I don't like talking into answer phones. And this is why I won't use AI, because I'm talking to something that I know isn't there, if you know what I mean. So it's like, so I haven't quite got past that. I'm in an empty room talking to open space, so I'm not quite sure what to say. And it's sort of like, you know, it's like I was always more interested in the sensory side of the ghost hunting. It's like what I'm perceiving and then measuring it against what's there. So the actual real-time communication, I've not had to the same degree. So I'm still a little bit sort of like, you know,
well,
like
not putting you on the spot though, but you know,
no, of course
what would be a question that you would like to ask? Let's just say it's an entity that is a person that passed over, and you knew it was in the room. There was something there, and you thought, you know, I'm going to ask it a question. What would that question be?
Honestly, I don't really know, because I think it would be context. I'm again overcomplicating things, but it would be context dependent for me. I think it's depending upon where I was, who I was with, and who I thought it was. Because I do this when I talk to real life people. It's like you kind of find what level they're on and then talk to them at the level they're on. So it's like if I thought the ghost was sort of a normal person, I would be, you know, sort of like, are you happy here? Or, you know, what do you hear the birds outside? Do you like the sunsets? You know, that kind of thing. Whereas if like I thought something was a little bit more intellectually inclined, I mean, I did get told once that there was a spirit with me, that I'd seen it with a pair of slippers and a mug. And I was just like, well, you know, what does he do when he's not here? You know, does he have ghost friends? You know, do they pop round and chat to each other when we're not there, going, oh, you know, we've just had another person talking to us. Oh, I've been haunting down the street. Oh, how's that getting on? You know, oh, I managed to manifest a knock on the wall. You know, do they go away and talk to each other? You know, or are they aware? You know, because there is that question, isn't it, whether they're aware of each other's existence? Because some of them seem to be, and some of them don't. So it's like that would interest me. Is like, do they get bored mainly? I suppose.
Brilliant question. You see, and and that's the thing. You bring in the conversation into a level that is kind of normal. It's a normal question. You know, do you get bored? Is it boring when you pass over? That's brilliant. You know, that's the sort of thing. One question you would ask Lurker? What would that be?
The question I would ask is a little bit more direct, but not too direct, because I know certain spirits or entities cannot say everything because they're probably bound in the ethereal realm, that they can only say a certain amount of information. So my question would be like, so I'll be like this. So what brings you here? What's your purpose? What do you want us to know? And what do you hope to the message you want to deliver? More direct.
Cool. Yeah. My question, I've said in the past, is do you realize that you've passed over, or do I look like a ghost to you? Because, you know, you have to think from their point of view. If it's something slightly different, and if it's kind of that they're on another frame of existence, then maybe they're like an avatar, and they sort of flitting through a frame. Because once again, we can't take a unblurred photograph of one. It was always like very blurry. It's almost like the camera's not quite quick enough, either on the ISO or it's just out of focus. It's blurry. It's sort of just it's tantalizingly. I saw one on Facebook. One was sent to us by Chris Meacham, and it was one of a translucent figure coming down a staircase, and it had a landing window behind it. So light was coming through the landing window. And when I looked closely at the figure coming down the stairs, you could see that there was almost like a shadow of itself on the staircase in front of it. It looked to be coming down the staircase, and it made me wonder, are these entities we call ghosts, do they have shadows?
That's another perspective there. There's some theories on a lot of things. It's like the one you brought up, where do ghosts and spirits perceive us as ghosts or spirits? That's definitely out of the convention, out of unconventional, unorthodox thinking right there. You just already came up with something unconventional.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't say it's like out of convention. They just think it's that bloke's nuts, that big nosed bloke. He's completely lost the plot. But yeah, I know what you mean, though, Lurker. I know what you mean. It's good to think differently. I'm going to open up, show people your Facebook so they can catch it on it. Let's have a look. I'll just take that. There you go. Right. So this is your Facebook. Carlos, do I say it right? Or how do you say your last name?
Ortegón. Yeah.
Okay. Junior. Right. So this is some of your stuff here. Who's that good looking fella? Right.
That's when I did the chip review from when we got that sponsor from News Fruits.
Okay. Right. Oh yeah, what's this? It looks like a floating biscuit. Oh, it's the Norse chips.
Potato
Right,
chips.
I got it. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, right. Oh, blimey. Yeah.
Chickens again.
Natalie, look.
I follow them on Instagram. I love them. I don't know what it is about the dancing chickens.
Brilliant.
You get one with like little glasses on and everything, and one's got a little medallion. It's great. I think there is a clip on your page somewhere. I think I saw it earlier, where you were playing Hangman as well, weren't you, on your tablet thing?
Hangman.
That was amazing. I was just like, although you'd have to be careful where you did Hangman, I assume, because you wouldn't want to go to a jail and do it. Because you might upset someone.
Right, yeah.
I thought that was a brilliant idea, playing Hangman with them. I'm
going to play a couple of little clips I see on here. This one for a start. Right. Okay, let's have a look.
Okay, here we go, Spirit.
You heard it said, "Come on."
There you go.
The device was using is an XLS camera, which is the latest in the market.
Are you able to? Is that better for you? I'll move it if I have to, a little bit more for you.
Am I picking up the bottle or I write me a song? It's life, not love, baby. Did I get it wrong? But I'm caught up in emotions.
You see it?
Caught up in emotions. Caught up.
I think you're muted.
Yeah.
He's muted.
I was going to say that's the longest I've ever heard him be quiet for.
No, I think his mic is muted.
Sorry, that's my mic. Yeah, it's my mic. That's my mic. Yeah, I know that. It's the longest I've been ever quiet. Yeah, I know. It's usually I'm so music. Do you use music a lot? Do you find that helps?
I was promoting a upcoming artist for someone, a friend of mine.
Okay then.
I don't mean to put the music in there, but it's just to help him get him out there. So that was the spirit to transfer vessel experiment that I try to do. Because I was trying, the whole point of this experiment is why do spirits inhabit a vessel? Like, what is the purpose? What is the end game of them inhabiting a vessel? Do they stay in, or do they come and go back as they go? That was the whole purpose of that.
Okay.
So what was your outcome of that experiment? Did you discover anything from that hypothesis?
Not yet. I'm still working on that.
Yeah, I should imagine that some things are probably more firmly attached to whatever vessel they're in than others. It's because they've got the concept of spirit houses, haven't they, in certain countries, and that they always have little houses for the spirits to go and live in.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, like you say, whether they can come and go or whether they're attached to it, and whether there's different kinds of what's the word? Different levels of interaction with the vessel or abilities. Yeah, no,
that's why I did that experiment, because
yeah.
Do they come and go in the vessels? Do they stay for a little bit, or do they stay for a long? Do they get trapped in there? Like, this experiment is definitely out of the box for sure, 100%. This is an idea I came up with that concept. The concept idea was from vessels.
Yeah, because you have, like, historically you have the idea of trapping spirits in jars and putting lids on, but if you have a vessel that has multiple openings so that they don't feel like they might be trapped, that also might alter the interaction with it. You could go quite a few different ways with that, couldn't you?
I like the idea of, do you think it's feasible, it's possible that the Ghostbusters and trap a spirit, like a Dybbuk box?
I mean, the possibility is there, but there needs to be a lot of study and testing with this, because it's not 100% for sure if a spirit is trapped inside of a Dybbuk box. That's kind of possible, maybe not. I guess we have to find out. More study is needed.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
The classic scientist answer, that one.
That is, isn't it? Yeah, that's like, yeah. Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I mean, hey, look, at the end of the day, look, we're just like kind of like anyone else. We don't have any answers. We're just sort of stumbling about in the void and kind of making sense of the meaningless, really, trying to make sense of it. So we don't expect to get, kind of a definitive answer, and we're not looking for that. It's just basically a mishmash, chucking it in the pot and swirling it round and seeing what we get. This one's interesting.
No, seriously, what the hell is that? Let's see what happens from here. Cool. There it is again. What the fuck is that? No, seriously, what the hell is that? Let's see what happens from here.
Okay, let me explain that one. So I was doing a glow stick test experiment. So I was going to lay it all around the area while I go in off the trail to see if, like, whatever's out there, like a cryptid or whatever, picks up a glow stick or whatever. It lets me know if something is moving in there. The glow stick will help me indicate where they're at, as far as that goes. That was the whole purpose, is to track where they're going or where they're at, or if they're near me, or if they're away from me, or if they're like certain amount of distance from me. I tried to do that, but then something was making that noise. I thought at first it was like a gunshot, but I showed it to some friends of mine. They think it's like Sasquatch banging like a stick against another stick, or I don't know, but I can't really have an answer for that. We're still trying to figure out what that noise is, as far as that goes, because it's not animal. It's not anything an animal would make, because it's literally someone going in the middle of the woods.
What was it? I couldn't hear it properly. But was it like metallic sound? Was that the noise?
I thought it sounded metallic, but it sounded like it's hitting from like a. It could be metallic. I don't know, but it did
All right,
sound
I'll
like.
tell you what. All right, it's only a short clip. I'm going to play it again. All right, but when I do, I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit on it. Hopefully,
Okay.
just tell us when when the sound comes up. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I'll take it back to there. Boom. Right. Here we go.
See what happens from here. Cool. There it is again.
There.
Yeah, like it starts from there. So
Okay. Right. I'm going to turn the sound up then. Here we
okay.
go.
No, play the rest from there.
Okay then. Here we go. Yes, I heard that. Yes, I heard that. Did you hear that, Natalie?
Yeah, just about. I mean, my sound's a little bit low anyway, but yeah, I did hear it.
Okay, I'll play it again. I'll take it back a little bit.
What the fuck is that?
Interesting. I like that. Okay, yeah.
I have no idea.
Like
Was that the only time during the night that you caught that then?
That was not. I had no idea that was going to happen. That just happened right then when I was getting ready to do that. But at the time when I was in the woods, I was testing the glow stick out. I wanted, like, again, to track movements if there was a cryptid or anything out there, like skinwalkers or Bigfoots, because I wanted to see where they were going. If they picked up the stick, I'll be able to know where they're going, or if they're close or anything. But that noise, I thought at first it was a gunshot. Maybe it could have been a gunshot. I don't know. Phil said it was a metallic sound. It could be a metallic sound. I'm not disagreeing with him. It could be. But I still can't find an answer for that. Still to this day. This was a year ago.
interesting sound. It did sound metallic. I'd like to know. I mean, how far away were you from population? Would you say how far in that wood is it?
I wouldn't say like really, really far away from the population, but just far enough where there's not a lot of population around. I was deep in there, in the trails.
Okay. Do you know what might be a good idea, Lurker, to do? Go back to that wood and get a like a dog poo bag. Okay, I've got tons of them, but get a dog poo bag, right? Put an MP3 recorder in, put it in the bag, just tie a knot in it because they're really thin. The bags are, right? Tie a knot in it and then hang it on a branch somewhere and leave it overnight. Do that a couple of times and just, it's a bit of a ball ache going through the audio because it's kind of like, it might be 10-12 hours worth of audio, but always go for between 1 o'clock and 3:30, 4 o'clock, and you'll often find something around that window of time. Okay, that's quite a good idea to do as well. I've often gotten I've got just audio videos I've uploaded where I've gotten like metallic doors opening, knocking like that, and it sounds like metal. I've also got almost like singing in the woods. It sounded like singing and growling, stuff like that. So that's always a good thing to do, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, just leave it in there. Hopefully, I'm not, you know, I mean, if it gets nicked, it gets nicked, but you know, hopefully it should be okay. But that might be quite a good idea. I'm going to play this one. Well, you sent me a few on
The one I sent you was where I had the AI to spirit interaction, spirit bouncing back to talking to the AI thing. That was a one.
Okay, let's see if this one comes up.
That's the Pictionary method I was talking about. This is the twisted words.
Okay, let's turn the sound up.
What word is this, spirit? I'll be back. I'm gonna use the bathroom. Not only that it's scrambled spirits, it's also all over the place. What word is this? I'll leave it on for a few moments and then we'll move on to the next word, okay? Any of the spirits would like to take a guess at this? Don't be shy. You heard that? It said help. What word is this, spirits? What word is this? Take a guess, spirits.
Okay. That's interesting.
Really interesting. You could hear it clear as day what they just said. And I made it so I tried to make it challenging and they still figured it out. No joke.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. That is interesting. Are you interested in scrying at all? You know, some people use like obsidian mirrors and even water and stuff like that.
I actually tried a little bit with the water.
Right. Okay. Yeah. John D used to use that, Natalie, didn't he?
Does he have the black obsidian mirror?
Yeah, he used to use water, I believe.
Oh.
He used to use water, yeah, a lot.
I was going to say one of them, I can't remember which one it was, had the black obsidian. I
think it could have been him as well. Yeah, I think he.
Yeah, but don't quote me on it. But yeah, I've never actually tried scrying. To be fair, actually, I've never really. I know somebody that uses they shine a light through water and then they stir it and then take photos and they get some very interesting photos. Whether it is anything or not, I don't know. But some of the images he's got has been quite curious. Have you got any ways of? Have you ever tried to get the spirits to actually interact with the pad thing yet? Touch it, or I don't know if you'd be able to link it up to something so that if it did touch it, that it could interact with the pad itself.
I did try that, but it didn't. They weren't able to touch the pad.
They weren't able to. So it probably requires a little bit too much. Sort of like physical presence at the moment. It's like there's probably a way of making it more sensitive eventually over time, but because that would be quite interesting if you could have like a, how the REM pods give off fields, but if you could have like a flat area that had a field on it, whether they could interact with the field and then the screen would interpret it. But this is way above my tech level.
Yeah, I'm working on that idea of that concept right there, but
yeah,
I'm working on that project right now at the moment with that.
Okay.
I'll definitely let everybody know when that comes out.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
No,
Yeah,
that
no.
would be cool. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to play this other video you sent me as well.
Now that one's interesting more than anything.
Okay.
I know people use AI to take pictures to see if a spirit would be there.
Oh,
And
man.
they never thought of this
More
concept.
words. You know lots of words.
Let me take it back.
Oh, man. More words. You know lots of words.
Yeah. It's hard for me.
We talk like what? You tell me finish your sentence. It what? What are you saying it about?
It's gone.
It's gone.
Oh, man.
Let's pause that for a minute. I don't know if you
Mhm.
heard them. They said it's hard to hear. It's hard to say. And then at the end you heard gone.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting, right? That interaction between AI and spirits.
Yeah, that's interesting. How did you get that one set up then, guys? It's like, did you just set up the AI to just talk to thin air, or?
Yeah, I did. And
Okay.
it started picking up a few things, but it didn't pick up everything the spirit said through the necrophonics. So there's kind of an issue with that. But the spirits are definitely saying something to the AI, like if it was a real person.
Yeah. Yeah, because it sounds like the AI is getting a bit annoyed. It's like, speak clearly. I can't hear you.
Or it's hard to say. It literally said that. It's hard, or it'll say hard for me. Not hard to say. It said hard for me. And then at the ending it said gone.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Pretty much the samples of my work right there.
But I must admit, you are the next video you sent me. I did see. Okay.
Now that one I discovered on accident.
Right.
That
Now,
experiment.
I didn't really want to play it. I'll be honest with you, because it's and this is no you know, not it just this is no you know, taking a mickey out your work. I take it very seriously, and I think what you're doing is brilliant. It's just this video, you know, my mind, it works in such a Benny Hill way. You probably don't get this. What it's like, you know, I'll play it, okay. But I just like kind of and it's interesting because I hadn't thought about doing this ever, and it's sort of like finding out. It was like, oh, okay. Spirit said watermelon. Okay. Here we go.
This was a smell experiment inspired by paranormal investigator smelling phantom smells.
Oh, hang on.
I want y'all to try to take a guess.
Ooh, here's one.
Okay, guys, I'm pretty sure this is everybody's favorite smell. I want y'all to try to take a guess at this smell. It smells sensual and sweet. And it's what everybody eats. So this shouldn't be too hard to guess this smell. It's a type of fruit that you eat. It's a type of fruit that's giving off this smell. I think it said. I could have sworn someone said that smell. I think they got it correct. Can you say it again one more time, spirits, for validation? Please say it one more time so I know you're able to smell this. I'm whiffing it around more so you can smell it. I'm going to leave it out for a few more seconds. I'm going to try a different smell. What was that again?
Ooh.
I do have a current smell experiment. I have an up-to-date one version. That first one was on accident because at the time I was covering it to make sure the spirits didn't see the label, right? To enough to where I can cover it to where they can decipher the smell from the first one, from that video. I have a current smell experiment where I actually covered it like I did the first one, but I revealed it what they guessed, like this, the current video. That was just a video on accident I discovered because this theory was every time paranormal investigators go to a haunted location, they would smell like phantom smells, like perfume, cologne, cigar smells, cigarette smells, sort of smell like food, you know. So I think to this idea, like this is where the unconventional part or the out of the box thinking comes in. I'm like, why don't I flip it on the spirits instead? Let's see if they can smell it as opposed to we can smell it. And
See,
it's
I love the idea. I love the idea. It's just, when I first saw it, well, I wasn't going to play it because when I first saw it, I thought, well, you know, if it was me, it definitely wouldn't be watermelon. Because a lot of times, because I've got Crohn's disease, you see, so it sort of like affects me. I get wind, basically. So and I just thought I could do that experiment myself. I wouldn't need any, you know, but I don't think the spirits would like that very much. But it wouldn't be too popular with the spirits. I think I wouldn't do that experiment. But no, it definitely wouldn't be watermelon. But you did
Maybe that's what secretly clears out the rooms in some of the ghost hunts and nobody realizes, but the spirits can all tell.
Is there anybody there? Yeah.
Not anymore.
No. Yeah, it's always best to be honest, though. But no, I like the experiment, the idea of it with smells and have you ever come across any like sulfurous smells?
Yes, in a few locations I have.
Okay, because that's quite a unique thing that people kind of smell, especially. I mean, with you know, coming from like aliens, you know, people have interactions, to sometimes with shadow beings and ghosts and stuff like that, they get this sulfurous sort of horrible smell attached to it. Yeah, I think you know, I think that's definitely a thing. But I like the cut of your jib when it comes to, you know, you're actively asking. It's not something that just like occurs and you're monitoring it. You're not monitoring so much as you're encouraging, and you know, you're kind of interacting an awful lot, which is great in new ways, which I do like. I do like that indeed, you know, the way you're doing it. Right, let's have a little look and see what else we can find. We've got now a TikTok. Let me close this one off.
Yeah, you'll find the current smell experiment on that one, where, you know, the first one, I was just an accident. I stumbled on that discovery. The recent one where I actually covered it, and when they guessed it, I revealed the label. So the people will know, hey, that's what they guessed. So it'd be more of a descriptive idea of why I did that smell experiment.
Right, okay. And for people who've got their phones and are watching this on a TV or on a PC, I'm going to put this QR code up. This takes you straight to Lurker's Facebook page. Okay, so if you just put your camera on your phone and zap that will take you straight to his Facebook page without any messing. I've also done the same as well with your TikTok, and I'll put these up again, so don't worry if you don't catch it this time round. That one's slightly different. So once again, just use your camera and that will take you to his TikTok page, which I am about to bring up now. Okay, let me just get this up and running. Okay, here we go. Right then, that is your TikTok page. Let's take this down. And banner. Yeah, right, we can see it a bit clearly now. Okay, I'm gonna have a little peruse around. Okay, you've got 3 videos there pinned. The second one looks interesting, like it's out and about.
Oh yeah, that one is. It still needs to be tested, of course. It's kind of subjective right now, but that was called the artificial spiritual vessel, where a spirit can take a hold of an AI for a little bit and try to communicate with us. But it's still a work in progress with that project still.
Okay then. Okay. Can I ask you something? You spoke about cryptids. Do you is that something which comes onto your radar with cryptids?
It's because I actually saw a cryptid. Legit saw one. It was a skinwalker that stand between 7 8
Oh,
foot
what? Now
on
you
its
tell what?
fours.
Now you tell me. Okay, come on then,
No
spill the beans. Let's turn that off. Right, come on. What's going on with it?
Okay, at the time when I was with my ex-friend, we were in the deeper part. This wasn't like the one you saw the previous video. This was actually deep in the woods on the other side. We call it the Jurassic side. Okay, because there's a lot of things that go on. There's unexplained sounds. There's from Native American cries to like a woman crying. There's different shadows, different like orbs. We would call them like, they look like fireflies, but they're too big to be fireflies. We call them fairies in there. Sometimes there'd be fairies in there too, you know. But we went in there one time because he wanted to show me the area, right?
Yeah.
So when we stumbled across the crossroads, we call it a crossroads, a fork ahead of the road. About 300-400 feet from our peripheral vision, there was something that came from the tree. There was 2 tree lines, one tree line here, one tree line here. This thing wasn't just like on its 2s, it was on its 4s, like an animal, like this. It looked this way at us. My ex-friend said, "Do not show fear." I didn't show fear. I put on a brave face. It looked at us for a little bit. It didn't attack us, didn't do anything. It looked at us for a brief moment, and it ran to the other side of the tree line. It was quick. So if it were trying to come after us, good luck trying to outrun it. Good luck. Good effing luck. You will not be able to outrun that. It scared the living lights out of me. I'm not going to lie. It takes a lot to scare me, but that scared me more than ghosts. It was...
Okay, can you describe it? What
Yes.
it look like?
7, 8 foot tall. You know, like when you burn something from a barbecue pit, like the charcoal turns all white and grayish. It was that color. And it stands like an animal, like a predator. Couldn't see the vase very well because it was kind of dark, but it had a big head. And the arms were really long, and the legs too as well. So that's the description of what I saw from there. It was very fast. And this is not something I'm making up because it woke me up. For sure.
Oh yeah, with anyone. When it ran towards you, can I ask? Did it almost like have its shoulders out, but its arms down, so its elbows were bent like that, going down?
Yeah, but it didn't come running towards us. It ran to the other side of the tree line. It saw us. It didn't perceive us as a threat or anything. It didn't want to do anything, so it just left. Like this.
Did it have its arms out?
Yes.
Or did it have its more like a dog where it was out?
Like this. Like this.
Okay. And they were they? Was it quite muscular or not? Was it skinny?
Skinny, muscular. It had some muscle on it, but it wasn't like a bodybuilder kind of built. It had muscle, but it was skinny, like tall.
Interesting. Okay. And it went on to, did it go bipedal on 2 legs did it get up at all?
No, it just kind of stayed in that hunched position, and then when it realized like if we're not a threat, or I guess it wasn't interested in us, it just ran to the other side of the tree line. That's it.
Any fur on it? Was it furry? Any fur on it?
No,
fur.
No fur.
Okay. Any tail? Did it have a tail?
Yes. No fur, no anything.
No tail.
No tail. 0 tail.
Wow. That reminds me of a case that I was told about. I interviewed a guy called Tom Brett, and he was by a bus stop. If you're listening, Tom, if I get it wrong, let me know. But this is generally, I think, what it was. He was standing by a bus stop, and there was quite tall grass behind the bus stop, and then there was a woodland, about a couple of 100 yards away. So there was like a wall of woodland, and then in between the bus stop and that woodland was this tall grass. And he said to me, all like yourself, genuine. He said, Phil, I looked across because I was waiting for the bus and looking around, and I looked across and I saw these this figure, and he said it was white, like pale, like ash, but it was a grey ash color, and it then saw him, and it went running. And as it ran, he said, like in the Japanese films, horror films, a lot of times you find like the like in a ring when a girl comes out of out of the well, and she walks almost like as if her limbs are broken, kind of like walks like really awkwardly. He said this thing was moving, it was shifting, but he said its limbs were like out by its side, which was very odd for an animal. It's like shoulders, and it was like running like that. And I said, are you sure you saw it? He said, yeah, I swear. He said, honestly, it was running like that, and it was awkward the way it ran, as if it had broken its legs. It was really awkward, but it was so quick, unbelievably quick. So that's odd. That is very, very odd that you saw that. Very odd. That's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Right, let's have a little look. I think that wood that you saw that is the same wood where you put the glow sticks, isn't it? Is that the same wood where you put the glow sticks?
No, no. I didn't use the glow sticks for that one. This was when I was working with my ex friend of mine. He wanted to show me different locations. This was a different time frame for that. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Definitely it's something. That wood is something that you should really, I think, investigate as well. Okay then. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put up the TikTok again. I'm sorry about that. I've got to wait later.
No, you're good. You're good. I thought I'd share that with y'all because that was something I can't shake off.
Yeah. Oh, Carlos, that got me so excited. That really got me really excited. I was like, oh, because that sounded just like Tom's account. I was like, what? Just struck home with me. Yeah. And when two people over, thousands of miles apart, and I'm sure you haven't seen his account, had the same type of account. Amazing. Almost probably like a rake, what they call a rake.
Probably.
Yeah, they're very, very rare, and extremely angry things. Right, let's have a look. If
there's the current smell experiment right there, the one you just had that's the current smell.
One?
Yeah, this is the one where I showed when after they guessed the smell, I show the label.
Okay.
This is what they get.
Let's get this one on.
Wrong one.
Okay, let's see if there's a volume. All right, let me get it bigger and I'll take it back. I had to get it bigger on this TikTok. Oof. There's no expanding thing on it. Let's take that back a bit.
Can you say the enchantment, please? To summon her.
I think you got the wrong video.
Oh, okay. No, that's good, man. Tell me. That's fine. Okay, let's go back down.
There was the smell experiment right there.
This one here?
No, above it.
That one?
That one, yeah.
Okay, then. Right.
Not lemon. Not sage. I heard that. That is correct. They said pine. I don't know if you guys heard it, but they said pine. So let me go ahead and close this up, and I'll reveal it to y'all what they said. This is what they guessed. Ready. All right. So the scent that they guessed, which is correct, let me show everybody. They said clove. I heard future. That's one. I heard one response. Okay, I heard one spirit say it. I need one other spirit. Any other spirits would like to respond to this? Because I already got one response. What smell is this, spirits? I need other spirits to guess this. I heard that. The same spirit said it twice. So, y'all guys, whoever responded to that smell, it is correct. They said vanilla. So, here it is. It says Van on it, but it's actually vanilla oil.
That was very accurate. It's my microphone. Yeah,
You good?
that was very good. I like that. Do you have you got any did you ever take any video or photos? Have you had any luck with when it comes to video or photographing these entities?
Most times when it comes to spiritual communication, video, I would get more than pictures. Sometimes, like once in a blue moon, I'll get a picture of something, but most times it would be video more than pictures.
Okay. All right. Right. Okay. I'll tell you what. You work with other teams, don't you? There was some teams
I
that you want to
do
mention.
have my own team that it's called Achromatic Darkness Innovations, which deals with this type of research, right? But I do work with other teams too. So I work with them. It's called Haunted Halos and Ice Spook Community. So I'm working with them as well. So I wanted to give them a shout out too, because
Cool.
they've been really cool people in supporting me and stuff and everything.
Where can people find them?
You can find them on Facebook. Haunted Halos on Facebook and Ice Spook Community on Facebook.
Okay, cool. All right. Have you got any plans for any? I mean, I'm not asking you to give any secrets away, but have you got any plans for any further experiments?
Yes, I do, 100%. AI projects is one of them, of course. The other one, what Natalie mentioned about if the spirits can touch the tablet pad. I'm working to find another way so that they don't have to work too hard to touch the tablet. Maybe like something more flat, maybe to where it's easier for them to touch or interact. So that's another project I'm working on, and of course working on an artificial spiritual vessel project as well. We're looking to develop that a little bit more. More testing is needed on that, 100%.
Okay. If there was something you could ask AI, what would you ask it about ghosts or spirits?
I would ask him, what's your thoughts and concepts about spiritualism, or what's your beliefs on paranormal? What is the concept of entities, spirits, ghosts, demons, angels, or creatures?
Okay, let's have a look. Let's see. Right. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look and see if we can't get that Zoop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. All right. Hey Google. What's your concept on angels? Let's have a look. See if they...
That's a fascinating and very broad question. The concept of angels exists across numerous traditions, religions, and even secular literature and art. The specific understanding of what they are varies significantly, but generally, angels are viewed as supernatural beings who serve as messengers, intermediaries, or protectors between the divine, God, the gods, or a higher spiritual realm, and humanity. Here are the main concepts of angels across different contexts. 1. Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In the Abrahamic faiths, angels are most prominently featured and are often understood as messengers of God. The word angel itself comes from the Greek angelos, which means messenger. They convey God's will and deliver divine messages to humans, e.g., the angel Gabriel announcing the birth of Jesus in Christianity, or revealing the Quran to Muhammad in Islam. Servants and agents, they execute God's commands, which can include tasks of protection, guidance, punishment, or warfare. They are purely
Hey
spiritual
Google,
beings who can sometimes...
can I ask you, if I was to see an angel, would I recognize it? How do angels look? A lot of people depict them through the ages as being a large eye surrounded by a revolving circle of lines, if you like.
That is an excellent question that highlights the vast difference between how angels are typically depicted in popular culture and how they are described in ancient religious texts, particularly the Bible. The short answer to your question, would I recognize an angel, is it depends on which type of angel you encountered. Some angels are described as looking like regular men, while others, particularly those in the highest ranks, are terrifying, multi-limbed, and abstract beings that match your description of a revolving circle. 1. The human-like messengers, the angels, you know. The majority of angels who appear to people throughout the Bible, such as the ones who visited Abraham, Genesis chapter 18, or the one who spoke to the women at Jesus' tomb, Matthew chapter 28, are described in a way that suggests a human male form. Appearance, often described simply as a man or young man. Key feature. They are often distinguished by their extraordinary brilliance, glowing appearance, or brilliant white clothing, like lightning or snow. Reaction. Because their
Hey
presence
Google,
is so overwhelming.
stop. With ghosts, with entities that we're looking for, that everyone's like looking for. Do you think that uh, it has any religious connotations for you? When it comes to looking for ghosts, do you think there's any overlap between what we see and experience and maybe angels or?
Yes, I do believe that. Like, it doesn't have to be tied down to just one religion. It could be tied down to many religions. Like that's my theory on the ethereal realm. My theory on the ethereal realm is where it's like a big old bubble, right? And there's like different types of religions based on what people believe in, or like spirits or ghosts or entities. They all dwell in each of those little spiritual realms in the ethereal realm. So whatever religion, whatever you believe in, will basically kind of tie into what AI has been saying. It depends. So that's my theory on the ethereal realm. And as far as, what you just said there.
Okay, right, all right. But are you okay to answer any questions? Are you okay from people?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, that's cool then. All right. Do we have any questions? Let's have a look. See if we can bring some up. Is that tablet used for anything else at all? Andy.
It can be, but most of the time I just use it for the Pictionary method. Most times I just use it for that more than anything. But it can be used for anything else, yes.
Okay, all right, excellent. Thank you. Do you have any questions, Natalie?
Not particularly. I'm still
Okay, all right.
processing the Pictionary idea, to be honest. It's and like you say, the smells. It's
intriguing.
it's a very interesting, fresh way of looking at things. So I'm still trying to like wrap my head around like around the idea, and sort of like how and how I could sort of like do a low tech sort of, you know, whether it would work if I used paper and pen rather than tablet, because I'm not very tech savvy, whether I could do a low tech experiment with it and use an EVP rather than the generator thing, use an EVP and try and catch an EVP while I'm, you know, write the word or the picture or something and see whether, you know, it correlates.
You could do it on a whiteboard too as well. You can do it on notebook as well. I mean, it's the same concept. The only difference is on a tablet.
Yeah, no, I just thought it would be interesting if we could get if I ran an EVP or you know, instead of the voice generator, whether it would change the responses because they're not out loud, or whether, you know, I would get something similar. It'd be an interesting thing to play with, actually. It's sort of like it's just like, well, get the Times crossword out of the newspaper. If I like, because I can never do the cryptic clues. It's like, give me the answer to this. And see if they can work it out. It's like, but yeah, no, it's a really interesting idea, and I like this the scent one because it's so simple as well. You know, it's not complicated. But I was thinking about it when you were saying it, because it's like usually when we do investigations, we tend to only really focus on touch and words, don't we? Really, so we don't. You know, I know. I have a friend in America, Jeremy York, he's experimented with using a dog whistle, but he said you have to be very careful where you do it out in America because the coyotes and things. He said, well, you know, it's and they didn't seem to like that high pitched noise. So he was sort of like, you know, sort of just touching a toe on the edges of, like you say, what senses do they have, you know, and what they can and can't perceive, and also like what you said is like what's easy for them to interact with you with. So, you know, the easier we can make it, hopefully the more clear the answers are that we get, and you know, they might be more willing to interact with us if they're not having, because like you say, when you do it sometimes, when you were doing the word thing, like you say, it does get muddled. It's almost like they sort of talk over each other a bit. I mean, it's like with the smell one of them, I swear one of them said soap. It smells like soap.
No.
And I was, you know, because I that's why I struggle with the word generator things. I struggle to pull out the words from the background, although I can do it with white noise because I've had more practice. But yeah, it's so again, that's what made me think, oh, you know, maybe they were just being silly, and then the other one was like, shut up, it's definitely, you know, vanilla. So it's but yeah, no, that's interesting. Like you say, it's fun as well. So it brings more curiosity back into it rather than just being, you know, the same old. So it makes it more fun as well to interact. And you know how they often say that ghosts tend to respond to your energy, and it's like, you know, a lot of the ghost hunters run off the fear and, you know, or anger, whereas like, you know, the fun and curiosity and sort of like laughing about it as well, there's also a way of generating energy and interaction, which is probably more positive for them and more interesting. So you might find in certain locations they'll get more and more invested in time because they're you know, you're engaging them more, and they find it because, like you say, do they find this interesting? You know, is it, you know, or do they get bored? Because if they don't get bored, then it doesn't matter if we repeat ourselves. But if they do get bored, then it does matter. You know, so no, I find that really interesting. It's I can see why you're excited about it. Yeah, I really can. But
it's interesting you said about dog whistles, Natalie, because I think it's Stargaze or one of these the UFO teams which are out there. They very often recommend that a dog whistle is used to interact with UFOs and orbs.
all right.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy found that the spirits didn't like the dog whistle. So they used to get like the shut up, shut it off, I don't like it. So so I mean, that's one way of differentiating whether the entity thing, isn't it? If it's a spirit, it won't like it, but if it's a UFO, we might actually. Yeah, I've not heard that before. That's interesting. It's interesting.
I think so. We've got Paranormal Short Sessions by Keith Evans. Hello, Keith. Thank you for joining us. Keith's a really cool dude. Really cool dude.
Solid.
He's a lovely guy. Yeah, he's well solid. He said, "What did that animal smell like? What that Carlos saw?"
It smelled like death.
Really?
Yes, like, you know, like when you smell like an animal, when an animal is dead and it's been dead for a few days, that kind of smell.
Wow. The fact you could smell that from a reasonable distance away as well is quite frightening.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's that's not unheard of. That's not unheard of, especially if it was something like a rake. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be spot on. Absolutely spot on. Just like feces, quite a sweet smelling. I saw a rake, a photographed one at Cheddar Gorge. Over here, Carlos, we've got like a famous Cheddar Gorge, which is a natural gorge. Through the ice age, it just carved this large gorge out, and you find a lot of people go, especially summertime. They get sort of hot rods and really fast bikes, and they go zooming through it because the sound reverberates in the gorge and just like kind of sounds tremendous, like a thunderstorm of mechanical noise, coming along. So you find a lot of people going through there summertime doing that. And I decided to go up the gorge a little bit, and I was like kind of trudging up the gorge a bit, and lucky enough I had a digital SLR camera with me with a long lens attached on it. So I thought I'd put a long lens on, and my intention was to get up high to take a picture from below, from up high of the gorge, because I'm a bit of a petrol head. I love motorbikes. So I was like, when I see like kind of a katana going by, or maybe a ZZR, whatever going through, then I'd like take a photo and hopefully H2. Anyway, I won't go on. And I then noticed, I was like, what I normally do is like to get a good focal length on the camera to make sure. I looked at a wood, which was on a steep, what do you call it, decline, isn't it, when it goes down? Yeah. Decline. So it's like so it's wood. It's kind of, all the trees are kind of like vertical, but they're going down in sections, And I took one photo, then I took another photo just to get a gauge of the focal, to get everything in picture, to get it all focused okay. And I thought, right, okay, yeah, that's the maximum focal length. Excellent. That's nice, quite sharp, brilliant. Took 3 photos. First photo, it was the beginning of the wood, and it was just like a grassy bank with rocks, and then you saw the wood. Second photo, exactly the same. Then I saw in the second photo this entity that I hadn't seen in the first photo between 2 trees. And it had a large bulbous head. It wasn't all over big. It sort of came out wide. It sort of was a lot wider than a normal head, like a golem head, if you like. And then sort of like flattish on top. Very spindly, long arms and legs, but ashen grey. Now, I was some distance away. Took a third photo, and you saw it again. It moved slightly. And so I posted the photos, but once again, the armchair critics on Facebook are like, oh no, it's AI, or that's like, no, that's a branch from a different perspective. And I was like, it's not. I mean, what do you need to convince you? There was nothing there before, and then there was something there afterwards. But once again, it brings me on to the quick subject of everything that we we receive, every interaction you get, Carlos, is very individual to you, what you're asking. Do you ever get anything like that in a group, or when you go out with a group? Do you ever get any interaction where there's multiple witnesses?
Not too often, but if I'm with the group, that does happen, but not as often as I would if I was on my own. Because when there's more people, sometimes spirits get a little shy, or if there's too many people, they'll get overwhelmed. So, in what I've dealt with, what I experienced was spirits are more communicative with if I'm just by myself or another person, not like in a group setting. It has happened where I've gotten responses. One, there was a group there, but not as much as it would if I was by myself.
Yeah, I agree. That runs to form. That runs to form. They don't perform for mass audiences. You know, they just don't. I don't. You know, I've never gotten any luck with a group of any size. You know, yeah, they like. They seem to like to interact on a level which is personal, on a level, and they seem to interact. I think you agree, Natalie, with that. I'm sure you do. They seem to interact in a way that is just with you, and it can be quite absurd. So that on purpose, if you were to tell, give a recount of your incident you had, it would often be really absurd. It would be delivered up to you in such a way that if you were to recount your experience, it would be an absurd experience to anyone else. It would be absolutely unbelievable because it's so stupid. For instance, it would be a knocking. I'm sure that window knocked, but then it knocked 3 times in a row, a total of 9 knocks, 3, then 3, then 4. And people be like, what? Well, it's obviously someone that went. No, it wasn't. It wasn't anyone at the window. And then maybe you would go to the window and you'd see an entity with a pointy hat on. It would look like, you know, the Bible would look really strange and out of place and odd. And I think they very often do this on a personal level, and they make it be in such a way that it is absurd to recount. It does make you look silly to actually, and embarrassed to actually tell the story. And I think that's part of their game that they do. Paranormal short sessions. Keith Evans, will the lurker be writing? Were you going to be writing a book, Carlos?
I thought about it. I may in the future, but as of right now, I got a lot of projects going on, so that's going to have to be on hold.
Okay. All right. Let's have a look. Let's see if there's anything else. Does Lurker have any thoughts on what type of energy the soul is made from?
I'm going to be honest, and it's going to sound a little bit out of the box. I think, you know, when it comes to energy on a scientific term, you know, energy itself, when it comes to that type, I think we all have energy. So I would think that it would be the same energy as other types of energy, you know, that energy itself puts off. That's just my opinion. It's not for sure, but that's just my opinion on that. I don't have a lot of study on that at the moment right now, so I can't give you a definitive answer.
Do you just a quick one, real quick? The energy that you're talking about, would you say electromagnetic in form? Electromagnetic?
Electromagnetic, yes, because it seems to be that's what spirits are giving off at the moment right now is electromagnetic field at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Right, Keith Evans again. Did you find success using AI to interact with ghosts and spirits?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
What kind of success did you have with the using the AI? It is a little bit like that clip that we heard earlier, where it was having a conversation. So it's like Did you set up the AI to ask questions, or did you just
No.
say spirits just talk to the AI?
Basically, just let it run. Just let the AI and spirits talk to each other. Because if I set it like to where, like, they become an investigator, they're not going to respond as much. I tried that trick already, so I figured, just let them conversate back and forth would probably be
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Have it as an observer. Have it as another person observing. If you start, I think I've tried this. If you start suggesting to AI, of course, AI is going to fill in any blanks, and AI will kind of, because an AI knows only one thing, and that is to scour any and all forms of information to come up with an answer to your problem. So you can't suggest anything to it. You have to have it as an observer, and then if it picks up on anything, great. So yeah, it's the right way of doing it. Keith said, what is the lurker's favorite place to complete recurring paranormal research? Yeah.
As of right now, I don't have a favorite place, but the place I do most of it is here at home before I take it out anywhere.
Okay. Do you think a place can be the different places can be more conducive to having experiences, or do you think you could do it in your front lounge, or do you have to go to a haunted place?
Well, it depends. Like I said, it depends on the timing, the date, the location. That's what I was saying earlier. It's like a game of chance. Just because some places could be haunted or are haunted doesn't mean you're going to get the same result every time. It may be different for different days or different times of the hour. You may get a lot, you may get a little bit, you may get a teeny bit, you may not get nothing at all. I had that happen before where I didn't get anything, or I only got a little bit. That's it. And this was different days, different times of the same location, or different locations, repetitively.
Okay.
Do you find the weather effects? Because there's a thing about the weather. I tend to find around here that different kinds of weather tend to manifest different kinds of paranormal experience. So it's like, have you noticed any correlation between the weather and responses yourself?
Yes, weather does have some sort of effect when it comes to paranormal events that are occurring in those locations. More so, thunderstorms or like rainy days it's definitely more heightened as opposed to a sunny day like this.
Yeah.
Because it charges the atmosphere. It's electric.
It is literally. Yeah. Yeah, because rain itself, water itself has an electrical charge, doesn't it? So it's sort of like, when it's raining, it's sort of building a different kind of electrical charge. I mean, I find it here is like the air pressure seems to have an effect, like you say, thunder, rain. But I tend to also get certain types of more from my point of view, more likely psychic attack things when it's hot. But when it's hot and it's got that electrical charge in the air, so it's not just clear. I'm not 100% which weather, which air pressure is corresponding with it, but yeah, no, that's interesting. It's like, but it does definitely affect the type of thing that you interact with as well. It's like what I've found anyway. It's like you're more likely to get entities in certain weather patterns, and spirits in certain other weather patterns, and then sometimes you get a crossover. So no, that's interesting. I suppose actually being where you are when you've got it hot, because it's very hot and dry, whereas we tend to have hot and humid. So again, you've got the water in the air, so it's still probably a different. Well, they always say, don't they? It's a different heat in the UK. So yeah, that might explain why I tend to get things in the summer, whereas everybody else seems to think it drops off a little bit when it gets hot and clear. So, but we're a very damp country out here, aren't we? So,
Yeah, we are very, very damp. Yeah, I know. It's we've had a hell of a lot of rain, Carlos, today. My word, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything you would like to? So, what I can do, guys, is start wrapping this up, if that's okay. Is there anything you'd like else to share, or anything that you'd like to show on video that you think will be interesting?
No, that's pretty much it, guys. So that's pretty much what I got as far as my work and my research right now. I really am diving deep. I'm really passionate about this. I definitely want to know more answers because I do believe in my heart and hearts that paranormal research is stagnant right now. Yes, we see SB7, we see ghosts coming through there, or like the words come out there. Yes, we see the cat balls. We see the REM pods going off, but we see it too often. Like, what do we need to do to go further in? What methods? What techniques? What devices? What ideologies do we need to do to approach this kind of investigation when it comes to paranormal research? Like, we need to understand how these paranormal events are occurring, why it's occurring, and what's causing it to occur.
What do you think, Natalie? Is there anything that we can do to kind of enhance? Because we are kind of, everything we do is at the moment is a bit samey, isn't it? It is a bit samey. It's like every kind of like time I've been out, it's basically, especially in the group, it's K2, maybe do table tipping, maybe try and do Ouija, which I don't like. I don't do Ouija myself. Maybe a bit of person tipping, maybe a bit of, but it's all quite, I don't know, it's all open to interpretation, that type of thing.
It's interesting with the table tipping thing because I've never been able to get that to work very well either. Me and Ouija boards. A couple of times I've tried table tipping, I've not. There was only one incident in a place near me where the table tipped over nearly all the way to the floor, and I got my finger on it, picked it up, and it was so light. It was like that shouldn't have happened with the momentum. But I've always found the table tipping thing weird. I was never convinced it was spirits. I always think that, even just from a human level, like you say, if we're electromagnetic energy, I just think it's an energy buildup of everybody that's around the table, and it's that rather than, I don't know, I've not had probably enough experiences with it, but every time I've tried it, with this one exception, it's always been a little bit straight, like, I'm not sure. It's the same with the Ouija boards. If you don't feed energy into it, it doesn't seem to work, because I won't feed energy into it. The couple of times I've tried a Ouija board, I won't feed energy into it and it doesn't respond. So it's like, to me, that's like, well, actually, is that just a form of body dowsing, but we're using a finger on a planchette? Or if the spirits aren't moving it, is that, I've always had questions about, although I have seen an actual portal on a Ouija board, but I have also seen that portal move away from the Ouija board across the table and down onto the floor. So it's like, I'm like, is it the Ouija board itself? It's like, it's quite, I don't know, I've lost train of thought a little bit, but yeah, I think you're right though, Luke. I think the way of looking at spirits as well is like asking fresh questions and switching the perspective, because that has been my main bugbear with the investigations, is the sameness of the questions. And it's like, these are the basic questions, and we need to perhaps, like say, be more challenging a little bit, and seeing if it is supposedly an intelligent response, what the level of intelligence is. And that might also be, I was thinking earlier, whether that would be one way of distinguishing from an entity and a spirit as well, because the level of response changes. Because I've noticed when we've had tricksters before in ghost hunts with groups, is that the speed of the response and the way it responds does change. The answers come quicker, faster, and they're usually, a little bit more intense in tone than when you're just dealing with like human spirits. So asking more provocative questions might actually be able to lead you to differentiate somehow. Or like you say, the level or speed of response, or how many words. I don't know. But it's interesting because, like you say, that's what makes it more interesting. There's the curiosity of it, and switching it round rather than just going, there is a ghost. It's like that. That was the one problem I had with paranormal investigation, because I didn't come at this from investigating. I come to investigating afterwards. Is that it's a very limited in the way it thinks about the afterlife. I always thought, because a bit like you with your religions and your dimensions, they're all interwoven with each other, and you shift through and between and around, and it's like in the paranormal investigators, it's dead, it's a person, it's like I'm thinking the different people when they die have different levels of consciousness when they pass. So some of them may just literally be on the cup of tea. I think I'm not, I'm not alive anymore. And then others of them will be like, woohoo, this is great. I'm having fun with the afterlife, and I can go here, there, everywhere, and mess with all these, So I think it's the mindset of it has become limited. They want evidence, but they're not looking at it, like you say, from a scientific point of view with all the parameters in place and what if.
I think that's you're right. We're throwing down the wrong breadcrumbs. That's what we're doing at the moment. I think we're throwing down the wrong breadcrumbs, and I think I honestly do think, Carlos, you're on the right track, because you're sprinkling a different kind of breadcrumb, and I think it's almost, we've tried the old way of doing things. We've tried the old way of ghost hunting. It doesn't seem to it gets results, but up to a point. Whether that's because the individual, say me, is afraid to go that step further, because it is scary. It is scary when you're dealing with something that is sentient, that has reasoning, that does interact with you, and you recognize that, and you think, whoa, hang on, there's nobody here, but I'm getting feedback, I'm getting interaction. That automatically does ring with everybody alarm bells, because you think there is somebody around, there is somebody here. And not so much, I always think that I always think, I brought them in, and can I get rid of them again? Or are they going to be following me around every time I go to the toilet, every time I go to work, can I get rid of them again, because I was the one asking them in? So it's kind of, it's chucking down the right breadcrumbs to actually get them to interact. But I just worry that, like with you, Carlos, that you're chucking around down the breadcrumbs, but would you be able to, if an entity came through that was demonic or was a bad entity, because you've come across and tried to shake its hand in all good intention, being that it's a ghost, could you actually get rid of that entity? That's the trick of it.
Yeah, that's a great question. So when it comes to, if it comes to a situation like that, of course, I'm going to establish boundaries, first of all. Second of all, I will approach this from a respectful standpoint, of course. Even if it is a bad entity or an evil entity, I will still show respect, light, positive, just so I don't provoke it or try to piss it off. And then once I get done, I would say something like an enchantment, like, I'm closing this. You can't come over here. So I set boundaries, and then I'll start doing the prayers, or what I do need. What I do to try to, like prayer or chants, to protect myself, of course. So I am aware of this work is pretty risky. It is uncharted, uncharted waters. Yes, that's the name of my research team page. That's why it's called Achromatic Darkness. It's literally going into the unknown. It's literally not a regular straight path. This is a path that goes from up to down to twirls to twists. That's why I do.
Yeah. Have you had just another quick? Have you had since you've been doing this? Have you had any wild, wacky dreams? Have you had any interactions, dreams wise?
I would get like dream messages. Like, I don't know if you call them premonitions. I do get like messages or dreams, or if I get like a feeling if someone's going to hurt me or if someone's going to betray me, it would show a picture of like people that I associate with. They would abandon me. This will be like 2-3 weeks before this happened.
Yeah.
I do get those kind of dreams.
Carlos, I want to say thank you very, very much for coming on, and it's been wonderful talking to you. And carry on doing what you're doing. You're on the right. I am sure you're on the right path. Absolutely on the right path. And I do think AI is going to be a big key in this. You are right. AI is going to be that other observer that we desperately need. You know, I think you are right in that, definitely. Yeah, and once again, if people want to catch Carlos, then please, by all means, is Facebook. I shall work. I'll link it in the description anyway. But his Facebook QR is just up there on screen now. So use your phone, whatever, screenshot it, and then you can put it in, and it can be read that way. Is that one there? And his TikTok as well. His QR for his TikTok is on this one as well. So, you know, check him out, show him some love, because the guy is really trying hard and he's pushing the boundaries. He really is. When you look at his stuff closely, this was only a quick look, to be honest. But, you know, you need hours to actually go through the amount of material that Carlos has got. So, but have a good look and you can see exactly, you know, how deep this guy goes, you know, and how much research he does. And I mean, absolutely, you know, God bless you. You do a good job, and I thank you for doing it. I really do, Carlos.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this. I hope you guys can learn from what my research provided on the screen, and hopefully whatever I said or the input that I gave, hopefully it will give you guys a new perspective on how to approach this.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Definitely.
Take care of yourself. All right. Bye, Carlos.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Much love.
Wow, that was great, Natalie.
Yeah, it was fascinating. That was interesting. I like the idea of playing hangman, although I wouldn't like to do it in an actual prison. It's like a historical prison. But because that made me chuckle when I thought about it. But the actual idea is quite interesting because it would be easier for them to say a letter than a word, possibly. So yeah, no, I think he's got some really interesting ideas. Like even the sense one, it is and the question, because we were saying this about the questions, weren't we? So even just asking like slightly different questions. But yeah, I like his take on it. He's got potential, some real potential there.
He definitely has. He definitely has. You know, he's absolutely dedicated. Absolutely dedicated. But I like the way that, you know, I mean, with the smells one as well. When I first saw that smell video, the watermelon, of course, I thought, well, you know, any smells. You can imagine me going into a room and just letting one go and like running out like a little giggling to myself. And everyone in the group going,
yeah, smell this.
It's like sulfurous. That's what when I was watching, that's what I thought. Oh my god, I would never try that. It wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, that's going a little bit outside the parameters of just wafting around a bottle.
It's time you pull out the hangman game.
Yeah, no, it is.
But yeah, I like the idea of the graphics because I mean, graphics work. I mean, graphics work with cards. Look, with tarot as well. I tried messing about with tarot. You know, because it's pictorial. You know, rather than using words, it's like kind of right. Okay, maybe you know if you interact using the images, you know, because they're very stark, basic images. You've got aximos, you've got tree, you know, you've got for stability, life, and such. You've got gate, you know, actual gate, a farm gate, you know,
Hmm.
things like that. You know, I've got a Lenormand red hand pack, which are very very sort of basic tarot, easy to read ones. So yeah, I think that was I think it's on the right, you know, definitely on the right branch there. You know what he's doing. Yeah. So other than that, I hope you have a good week, Natalie, and I hope
Yes,
people
and
at
you.
home have a great week. And yeah. Oh, I've been speaking to someone, Natalie, about Halloween. Hopefully, you can make it because a very special guest for Halloween.
Okay.
So, yeah, yeah, and they've just confirmed. Funny enough, they just confirmed yes, they'd like to do it, and I thought, oh, brilliant, that would be quite good. There's that Halloween bit spooky, and yeah, so yeah, I'll be putting my other mask on, you know.
The pretty mask.
Yeah. So yes, you know, do that. But yeah, that'll be quite a good one. I think you'll like the guest. You'll like the guest a
Okay.
lot. Yeah, that will be coming out. I'll give details of that, but because we're a little ways away from Halloween anyway.
Yeah,
But
it's not
we're
too
getting
far
there.
now, is it?
No, I know it's creeping up, isn't it?
Yeah,
It
this
is
year's
creeping.
gone quite fast. It's kind of wow. The summer dragged a bit with the heat. Well, from my point of view, anyway. But yeah, the rest of the year's sped by. I can't believe it's nearly Halloween already. It doesn't seem like 2 minutes since I was boiling to death, and it's like,
I
and now it's
know.
like the clocks are changing soon as well.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh yeah,
like,
they are, aren't they?
yeah, it's not. I think it's normally the end of, because I said this to my friend. I was like, it's normally the end of October, isn't it, roughly? So it must be sometime soon. But I'm not looking forward to it. I like the extra sleeping, but but yeah, it's depressing.
I know. It's there's something nice about Christmas, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a winter person. I hate summer with a vengeance because it just doesn't suit me. But I mean, I do like I'm autumn and winter, so it's not. It just, I think it's just once the clocks change, you know, it's definitely.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
definitely,
Isn't
you
it?
can't pretend anymore that we're still in autumn, and you know, it's definitely heading on the slide
Yeah,
towards
yeah.
the solstice days. But yeah.
Okay. Right. And well, thank you very much. And
Yeah.
you know, thank everyone at home, and I appreciate Natalie, you've been a star. Thank you very much for being on. I really
Yeah,
do
thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
All right, and no worries. You take care.
See you later.
Bye bye. Right, I'll take myself off. Thank you everyone for coming in, and Carlos, brilliant, and yeah, really appreciate it. And let Rox say goodbye. All right, I'm away, gone. Okay.
Hi. I really wasn't expecting that. That was so good. I came in sort of half an hour into it, and oh my god, it was just so interesting. I love the idea of using stuff like that. I'm just thinking of maybe noughts and crosses, just to see, you know. We've got a chalkboard, haven't we, Phil? In the hallway. And we've been having some really strange noises and stuff going on the last couple of days. So yeah, maybe I'll rub off your scoreboard, and I'll put up a noughts and crosses grid and see if anything happens. Anyway, thank you so much to everybody, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Thanks, Natalie, for being on again. Thanks, Carlos and Phil. Looking forward to Friday. So see you all again on Friday. Cheers, guys. Bye.